This is CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
So let's begin with a familiar face back in the spotlight. Oakland's former police chief LaRon Armstrong says today, the day that he's been waiting for is right now. He is pointing to a new report that he says proves he was wrongfully fired. So you may recall this past January, in one of her first acts as mayor, Sheng Tao put Armstrong on leave over his handling of a misconduct case. 30 days later, she fired him, and the department has been without a permanent chief ever since. And while we still have not seen the new report with our own eyes, John Ramus reports both the former chief and the mayor are standing their ground.
In the ongoing saga of the fired Oakland police chief, LaRon Armstrong revealed a report from an appeals hearing that he says completely vindicates him. But the mayor who fired him says she's seen nothing that would make her change her decision. All along, LaRon Armstrong said he felt he needed to clear his name after being fired by Oakland Mayor Sheng Tao based on a critical report coming from the police department's court-appointed monitor. But Armstrong demanded an administrative hearing, and his attorney says the final report shows he did nothing wrong.
At a very high level, that report concludes that, number one, the chief never should have been disciplined. There's no factual basis for the discipline that was issued. It's recommended that that discipline be reversed and removed from his file.
The report from hearing officer Maria Rivera concludes that many of the complaints about Armstrong lacked supporting evidence and suggested that he may have a claim for termination in violation of his First Amendment free speech rights.
I think the people of Oakland deserve the truth. I think the people of Oakland deserves to know that the son of the city did not violate them, did not undermine their trust, that I am who I said I was, committed to the city of Oakland, someone who was doing the job the right way. And regardless of the mayor's decision, I felt like my reputation was important to restore.
But in a statement, Mayor Tao fired back, saying Armstrong was fired because of public statements he made regarding an alleged cover-up of an officer's unreported hit-and-run accident. Quote, Mr. Armstrong immediately dismissed the allegations as mistakes and not systematic problems and insisted the officer had already been held accountable. In the statement, Tao says that's what made her lose confidence in him, and she pointed out that nothing in the new report suggests he should get his job back. Quote, I am proud that I, with the support of my administration, faced the decision head on and did what I knew in my heart was right for Oakland, fully understanding the controversy that might follow, said the statement. But that controversy is being fueled by the many supporters Armstrong continues to have in the community, particularly among African American residents. When word of the report got out, the president of the Oakland branch of the NAACP had this to say.
The chief did nothing wrong. He's innocent. Bring him back home. Bring the chief back home. He is innocent. It's time for him to come home and do what he needs to do for Oakland.
But would it even be a good idea for Armstrong to return to the job if he would be working under the very people who tried to oust him? Armstrong says he believes he can work well with anybody. Of course, the report could come in handy if he just decides to sue the city for wrongful termination instead. He says he's keeping all options open.
Okay, here is another twist. The Oakland Police Commission just released a statement backing the former chief, even suggesting they would name him as a finalist for his old job. The commission chair said she plans to launch a formal discussion of whether the panel should recommend to the mayor that Armstrong be reinstated or be included on the short list of finalists for the job. The police commission is actually meeting in a closed session as we speak, but they will be taking public comment later this evening. Our Betty Yu is there right now. She will have an update on all of this coming up tonight at 11 o'clock. You know, all of this is playing out while Oakland grapples with public safety concerns and crime. One of the latest victims, a mother of two, killed by a stray bullet while she was sleeping in her own home. That happened Friday night in the Laurel neighborhood. Today, a community group gathered outside the house on 38th Avenue to mourn the loss and discuss how to make Oakland safer.
We need to set an example for the rest of the city. How you come together and you support the grieving family, but how that's not enough. We pool our resources, okay? And we create the conditions that will prevent this from happening.
Chaz Walker lives just a few doors down from the victim. Along with some neighbors, he has founded an organization focused on providing educational support services for students, teachers, and families. And to add to Oakland's troubles, the city is still dealing with the fallout from missing a deadline to apply for grant money to fight retail theft. So today, Oakland's NAACP and Chinatown community leaders came together to voice their frustrations and said several businesses will be going on a one-day strike in response to that, although the date of that strike has yet to be announced. As for how the city missed the deadline, well, here is how Mayor Sheng Tao responded to an unrelated event this morning.
I am completely frustrated. We are putting in parameters so that something like this never happens again. You know, we are all human and we make mistakes. However, this is a personnel issue now around, you know, the organization, the department, and the person who we're seeing is at fault for this.
Mayor Tao said she will do everything she can to work with state lawmakers to still try to get the city some sort of funding to combat retail theft. All right, let's turn now to the fentanyl epidemic and a stark new picture of the deadly toll it's taken in San Francisco. Health officials say 84 people died from accidental overdoses in the city in August, and that is nearly 3 deaths per day. That number is up from 74 deaths in July. The city announced it is launching a dashboard to track the fentanyl crisis. It will be updated every month and will have the number of deaths, as well as the number of people entering treatment and the amount of Narcan given out. And this just in. It is a noisy protest outside San Francisco Unified's main office on Franklin Street. This is all part of a so-called fair contract picket by the teachers union. You can say picketers, they shut down traffic in the area. Teachers and the district have been bargaining for a new contract since last fall. Keeping San Francisco city streets clean with street sweeping is hard enough, but think about this. One neighborhood has been without it for decades. Our Kelsey Thord shows us how neighbors are trying to get the service back after banning it decades ago.
Phoebe Douglas has lived in Russian Hill her entire life. Her mom bought the apartment she lives in now years ago, and she can't imagine living anywhere else.
To me, it has a lot of character. It's very walkable. One way is go to Polk Street, the other is North Beach, Aquatic Park, and even I used to walk to work downtown. So I like that about it.
But one thing Phoebe doesn't like is that Russian Hill doesn't have street sweeping.
Try even with a broom trying to sweep here, and underneath the stuff, just all accumulates.
Russian Hill is one of the only neighborhoods in San Francisco that doesn't get regularly scheduled street sweeping. The reason, Rachel Gordon with San Francisco Public Works says, is because decades ago, back when the city first introduced street sweeping, people who lived in Russian Hill fought to keep it out of their neighborhood.
Russian Hill neighbors said we don't want it because they did not want to move their cars.
But in the years since that decision, Phoebe says the neighborhood and the times have changed dramatically.
Like Uber people park overnight, it's bottles of pee, and people, unhoused people, will leave their blankets around. And
that's why Phoebe is leading the campaign to get street sweeping into the neighborhood. But actually getting that done is a lot more complicated than simply asking the Department of Public Works to add a route.
We don't have the resources right now to have a regular route, but we are actively looking at doing that, particularly in the high need areas, perhaps the Hyde Street corridor where there are a lot of businesses and a lot of trees that are dropping leaves.
Rachel says DPW also wants to make sure a majority of the people in the neighborhood actually want street sweeping before the city goes ahead and adds a permanent route. That's why they've asked Phoebe and other supporters to gather signatures from their neighbors. But Phoebe told me that can be hard to do when a majority of the housing on certain blocks is apartments.
So the petitions have been rather a joke in that I did some of them, and I would pick blocks not the dirtiest necessarily, but the ones with the fewest houses. And from any point of view, this is a silly way to do street sweeping.
But the city is standing by that way. They say right now they sweep the neighborhood once a month and are looking into doing more sweeping once they have proof of neighborhood support and more resources. In the meantime, though, Phoebe told me she isn't giving up. She hosts a neighborhood street cleaning event every month and continues to gather signatures to hopefully one day get city sweepers to help the neighborhood she's loved her whole life shine a little brighter.